Hey, I'm Peyton Kell, and I'll be doing a speech over water consumption. This is my audience.
Hey, I'm Cletus.
Jesse James.
I'm Peter Stroker.
I'm Dale Doback.
I'm Miles Deep.
Water has many benefits to the body if the right amount is consumed. However, if too much water is consumed, it can be threatening to the consumer. Are you one of those people who just drink water every now and then, or do you regulate your daily water consumption? After researching this topic, I have learned about the necessity of regulating your water consumption and what could happen to someone if they drink too much or too little water. After hearing this speech, I hope you will begin to take your water consumption more seriously and begin to pay attention to the amount of water you consume daily. Throughout this speech, you will hear about the purification process of water, tips for consuming the correct amount of water, and the benefits of consuming enough water. Water is found abundantly all over the world, but most of the world's water is not drinkable. According to National Geographic, even though the world is 75% water, only less than 1% of it is drinkable. In order for people to have fresh water that is drinkable, most of the water that we have has to be purified. As soon as water reaches purification plant, it is coagulated and settled, meaning the water is mixed with aluminum sulfate and chlorine. The aluminum sulfate forms sticky globs which attract bacteria, while the chlorine kills germs and improves the taste and odor. After the water is coagulated and settled, the water flows through filters made of different layers of sand and gravel. The sand and gravel layers remove any remaining particles left in the water. The final step in the purification process is called disinfection, where disinfecting chemicals are added and chlorine is used again. This kills any germs that may have survived and keep the water fresh over time. Fresh water can be found in many different places on Earth. Cities that are established along or near rivers will pull their water from rivers or lakes, but cities that are not found along rivers or lakes have to pull their water through long pipelines from lakes and rivers many miles away. But there are also cities that get the majority of their drinking water from ground sources. The main reason for purifying water is to make undrinkable water drinkable. But if water is not purified properly, the effects could be life-threatening. The side effects of drinking water that is not purified can range from physical impact, illness, and in some cases even death. Some of the illnesses caused from drinking contaminated water can be immediate, but sometimes the effects are not noticed for many years. The illnesses that are caused can be physical, and the severity of the illness depends on the amount of water consumed. How do you know when you are suffering from drinking contaminated water? You will begin feeling nauseous initially from the bad water. Then you will begin having cramps all over the body. Next, you will begin vomiting uncontrollably, dehydrating you even more than you already were. Also, you will have diarrhea that, along with the vomiting, if not treated, could potentially be life-threatening. Water is key to survival, but only if it has been purified and there are no germs to make the consumer sick. Tips for consuming the right amount of water could greatly affect someone's health. What are some health tips on consuming the correct amount of water per day? The Institute of Medicine determined that the amount of water you need to consume depends on if you are male or female. A male needs to consume 13 cups or 3 liters a day. A female needs to consume 9 cups or 2.2 liters per day. Not drinking the proper amount of water per day can be potentially dangerous. People have been dehydrated and eventually died because they were not treated with fluids. The USGS Water Science School estimated that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water per day. If you do not like drinking water, there are other ways to consume water. Instead of drinking water, you could add foods to your diet that contain more water than others. According to Jill Harris, there are foods that are up to 90% water. Consuming foods that are made up of mostly water is one way to get more water into your diet. You can keep track of this by using a journal to record your food and water intake. If you are showing symptoms of dehydration and getting water can immediately ease these symptoms and relieve the illness. If you have any medical conditions, you should consult with your doctor first. Making changes in the amount of water you consume can be beneficial. What are some of the benefits? Drinking water helps maintain the balance of the body's fluids. It keeps your joints lubricated. Water helps energize your muscles also. Drinking water can help control calories also, keep your calorie count down. Water also helps to keep the skin looking good. In conclusion, water keeps you hydrated and alive, but it is very important that you regulate how you consume this daily. I have tried to persuade you on how to regulate how much water you drink daily, and giving you some tips on how to make sure you get the right amount of water daily. I hope that this information has been helpful to you and that you will consider your health when thinking about how much water you should drink in a day. If you drink too little water, you won't survive and you'll dehydrate and eventually die. If you drink too much, it could eventually put too much water in the blood and shut your body down. Thank you.